we go hard. Israel, we go hard. You can do your own thing, but you can't go hard. It's us. Israel, we go hard. Israel.
Back again, episode 21.
Wow, 21. Can you do something for me?
Listen. You know it's your boy. You know it's the brother and sister. Your favorite Ak in the coat. Akatilio and the coat Neshamia, not Neshama.
I don't know why people really mess up my name, Neshama.
Ready?
Like, where is the U?
Welcome to my life. But anyway, y'all, representing Demona Israel, D-Town, Southside, Mona Boys, whoop whoop.
Mona Boys and girls.
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah.
Boys.
With the Z at the end. Bro, why do people do that? I still don't know.
They think they cool. First of all, boys to men were the boys.
Yeah.
Y'all the little boys.
Nah. We boys are Akeem, that's all.
Great.
Anyway, y'all, representing, Demona Israel,
D-Town.
but recorded live in Truth Fire Studios, Nairobi, Kenya, Westlands, Empaka Road, Feda Plaza.
Ukowapi.
Give the whole address.
Great.
Alright, y'all. If y'all like to hear our lovely voices, our majestic, lovely sounding acoustic voices.
Acoustic is crazy.
You can always find us at Solutions Speak on every podcast streaming platform. Just look it up, Solutions Speak. We up to episode 20. You hearing this is gonna be episode 21. If this is your first time hearing us, go back, listen to the archive, listen to the truth bombs we've been dropping all over.
Right.
I mean, the way we've been dropping bombs, you would think it was Israel and
It's so stupid.
back a day. Actually, no, they were just dropping bombs the other day.
Really?
We just Israel all over. Anyway, y'all. Stay up. If you like us, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a follow, whatever it is. Let us know if you got some suggestions, some comments, some concerns. Drop it in the DMs, drop it in the comments. We always active. Unless I'm busy doing something, then I'll just get it when I'm free. Yakai, hallelujah. Anyway, Neshamia, what's the topic for today? Because you came up with this, I'm gonna just give you the credit because, well, who else am I gonna give it to? So, please drop this topic for us today. What is it?
What's up, guys? So today our topic.
What's up, guys?
So today our topic is dun dun dun. Does language affect? Remember, y'all, I said affect. Okay, how we see the world.
That's a good question. Like, even when I read it, I was like, wow. Because like if you think about like different languages, if you take like Arabic, Hebrew, something like Russian or German, the second you start speaking that language, people's perception of you is one way and how you also see people is another way. Like when you speak Hebrew, people like, especially in Kenya, I think people have this effect where it's like, oh wow, you speak Hebrew, the holy language, and like it becomes like a spiritual conversation from that moment on about like a different like types of spirituality. And when you even if you take another step, when it's like the Bible and stuff, the way people read the Bible here in English is so different from different from Hebrew. And then, the original Bible was in 5 languages, they said. And one of them was Hebrew, Aramaic, and what you was about to say?
I was like Ethiopian language. It didn't come to me.
Bro.
It didn't come to me, but I know it was Ethiopia.
Anyway,
Something about
it's
Ethiopia.
Hebrew, Aramaic,
You want to?
Amharic. No, that's not it.
You're so dumb.
Anyway,
Amharic
it's in 3 more. But what I'm saying is that perception or that understanding of the Hebrew language gives you a whole different perspective on the world in that biblical sense. And it's so odd that, that people say that language is really powerful, but they say they have this thing where they say the universe is made of words, is made of basically it all came from a single word, It all came from word. People spoke things into existence. Like how you say, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be wealthy, I'm going to be happy. You speak that into existence and your brain, buddy, starts to develop and starts to act in the way whatever you're speaking. That's why if you say things that are mean to yourself, then it'll have subtle effects on you, even drastic effects on you. And saying, you ever heard about that Japanese doctor who would like with the ice cubes and with the rice? With the ice and the rice. You never heard about that? So basically, he did one experiment where he had 3 he had 3 glasses of water, and each day he took them out. Like before he froze them, he had them, and he spoke like one. He spoke nice words. I respect you. I love you. The other one, he said, "Oh, you stupid. You're an idiot." The other one, he just completely ignored. What happened was the one that he said, "I love you and I appreciate you," but the ice, not glaciers, basically the snowflake. You know how those things be looking? It was beautiful, Birdie. The one that he neglected, the one that he said, like, "I hate you," it just like, it grew out of pocket. And the other one, it also grew a little out of pocket, but it was all different. And you can tell the one that was, so you can tell the effects that words have. And, they have like different holy languages. So like those words have bigger effects. And they talk about even in the Sefer Yitzra. You ever heard of that book? Bro, this is a deep book, bro. I have it on my phone. It's a book about how the Hebrew language basically made the universe and how each letter, embedded in each letter.
Yeah, every letter has a meaning. It has its own, especially in Hebrew, like the Aleph all the way to Taf, it has its own meaning.
Yeah, so each letter of the Hebrew alphabet, is what they're saying, has a special meaning. That's why when you compose words, when you compose names, it comes with meaning, it comes with root.
Yeah, it comes with like a force of power.
A force of power. That's why you can't just name somebody anything. I can't name you dog. I can't name you whatever, especially because those letters have meaning and put together have a output into the universe that's just different. Yeah, and it's crazy how that language and having a name in Hebrew, it makes you see the world so differently. Because now you see, like, I not only have to find my purpose in life, but my name has purpose in it. I have to live up to that. And a lot of people, your name is Sam. Like nothing against you named Sam, but like, what's the meaning? Like, where's the force in that? Yeah. Where's the, when I say my name is Yatziliel, it has a meaning, it has a root, it has a force that comes behind it. Right. And also has characteristics that come along with it. I can't go, my name is Yatziliel, and I'm out here talking about Mona Boys, catch you on D Block. It's like, it doesn't correlate. Sense. Yeah. It doesn't correlate. And like it goes to show you, it's like your name is Jesus Christ. Let's use that for an example. Which you're here shooting up people. It doesn't correlate. Yeah,
it's funny though. Like for me personally, I found my purpose. I found like a lot of my purpose in life through my name. Like I think that society or those who try to control people, they take those names that don't have meaning and like make those like the famous names. So you will be like, oh, because he has this name, I want my son to be named after him. But knowing society, like not society, but like those who like created those names knows that there's no power that comes with that name. Like,
but I think even the English language, like if you look at Kenya, going back to Kenya, if you look at Kenya, like let's say pre-colonization, people had names, tribes. You had Kikuyu, the 9 daughters,
and the best thing about it was it went down from generations and generations. So it was like, because like we were taught that energies and people never really die as long as they are being remembered. They're being remembered. So like it never dies. So it's like the spirit of like maybe like my grandmother is like in me because of like either a name or some type of attribute that we all share. But the whole thing is like it's like keeping your generation alive. But hold up, let's go back. Let's get the meaning of what is language. So language, a system of conventional spoken, manual, or a written symbol or written symbols by means of which human beings as members of a social group and participants in its culture express themselves. So we can say that language is a way that us humans express ourselves. But then you can't really say only humans because, animals and different creatures or different living organisms communicate, but just maybe not through speech. But everybody,
different types of language. Yeah, because body language. There's different types of
like signaling. Everybody have their own way of communicating with different things or people or whatever. I think I feel like language is actually a really cool thing. Like,
I think language is one of the
It's
coolest
cool.
things, but it's also a very dangerous thing.
It is.
Because you like I said, going back to Kenya, if you look at the effect of just language on on Kenyans, you see that some people don't even speak Swahili.
Yeah,
or you see that
that's
some people don't
crazy.
have a traditional name.
yeah.
So one thing about us is we didn't have I'm not George Yatsiliel. I'm just Yatsiliel. I don't
Yeah.
have 3 different names. I have, but I have just my name. And something that's cool about here is people have 3 different names. So they have a name that they was given to them by let's say their grandma or whatever, and they have the name that was given to them by their parents. And that way you always connect it between the past and the present
In the future.
and the future. So my name is Yatsiliel. Abba's name is Yatsiliel. My first son name is going to be Yatsiliel.
So I was like, you're going to keep this name.
But the
Gonna keep
reason
this alive.
I think that's powerful is because you're now connected between 2 different beings that understand that DNA, with that's in me, that's in Abba, is now bestowed in you. And the way you remember that is it's in your name.
Right.
And Shamia, I want to name my daughters. I want to have a lot of children just so I can name my daughters after the people that I find admirable. I want to have a daughter named Nashamia. I want to have a daughter named Hoshaya. I want to have a daughter named Sahala. You know why? Because they have attributes that I want to keep on and bring through my daughters through. So they see, my name is Nashamia. My name is
And they
Nashamia
proud though. You
Tana.
proud.
Whatever. You look up to daughter Nashamia. What is daughter Nashamia like?
Right.
How does she portray herself? How does she present herself to the world? She's respectable. She's modest. She's outgoing. She's smart. She's beautiful in all senses of the word. And even with that word, I am beautiful. My
Right.
daughter is beautiful. I'm named after my daughter. I am beautiful. You see how that goes?
Yeah.
It's just between the name and the spirit that come along with it. It's why I understood people name. Bro, I found out there's 3 other Shamirs out there, Brady.
Yeah, it is.
All named after our brother.
Wait, what?
Every last one of them
What
are named
one?
after Shamir.
Who?
Naomi's brother,
Yeah.
right? Shamir.
Wait, how? They
Donai Betula met my boy at some point in his life and be like, I'm gonna name my son after you.
Really?
Named him Shamir. Another one, Brady. What's his name? Amram, right? One of his relatives. And it's our son and their cousin. That British kid.
Oh, okay.
His name is Shamir.
Oh,
Guess what? He named after Shamir. I met his Ima. She's like, oh yeah, I met your brother. You know my son is named after your brother. I said, no way. Freddie, another Shamir.
Shamir is that guy.
No, but what I'm saying is the spirit of him, they want to emulate that spirit into their sons. And that's what it is.
That's what Iman said about me. She said she named me after Akon and Shami because she loved her spirit and she wanted to instill that in me. So when I was born, she was like, yeah, I know the name that I'm gonna give you.
Already imagine, and going back to the subject of how does language affect the world? Imagine if people because language is powerful. I do believe everything you say goes out into the universe. That's why, even recently,
Frequencies.
it's frequency, Brady. It's a vibration. When you speak, you let out a frequency. But you can't. People say that you can't really. You don't hear me you don't read my lips, and then that's when you get it. The frequency from my mouth bounces through your ears. Brady, you know what your ears, they have this, they're connected to this part of your brain, right? It's connected to the part of your brain that's mainly focused on memory, and it's a real important part I think it's called your pineal gland. Yes, it's your pineal gland. It's a very important part of your brain. People say it's where your soul is. It's where your soul is stored. It's really interesting.
That's deep.
And if you talk about frequencies, Nikola Tesla, he said, if you want to study the universe, focus on frequencies and vibrations. And what is sound? What is language?
Right.
It is an expression of frequencies and vibrations.
Exactly.
And this is how that goes. And if the universe is listening to you, why won't you say things that empower yourself?
Right.
But it's Brady, I don't convince people to hate other people by, watching something, whatever. It's speech that shows it. It's the speech that is hate speech. It's this person is this person is that. And through that unconscious, conscious mind, you start to believe it. But speech can also be one of the most powerful things.
Right.
Because if you want to be motivated, listen to somebody do something you want to do.
Right.
Listen to somebody you admire. It fills you up with this feeling of inspiration, buddy. I mean, one of the coolest things, buddy. I started taking these cold showers in the morning, right?
Are you back to it?
No, I've been doing it for like 4 weeks now. I'm on 4th week of it. I'm doing 8 weeks. It's lit.
He said only 8.
Buddy, what I'm saying is like, what I start to realize is it's cold until I start telling myself it isn't. Right? And what I started doing was I started listening to these, like they have these videos called like Reject Modernity. I don't know how to say it. It's a weird word. I think it's like one of them fake words. I don't know. But it's basically, it's like embrace masculinity is what they saying. Embrace masculinity. So like this video and like, it's like guys doing like manly stuff or whatever. Like you listen to it, you get fired up, bro. Like, I get super fired up. I get in the shower, Brady. And it's like, I'm just breathing, bro. Like, instead of going...
That's what I'd be like, I'm him.
Bro, I'm just sitting there, Brady. Like, I got in the shower today, I'm like, this ain't even cold. I'm here. And like, it's through the power of speech, it's through the power of language. I'm telling myself, this isn't cold. This is another shower. This is another hard thing that most people won't do that I'm willing to do. This is my life. And if you tell yourself, and my thing is like, imagine that's language to myself. Imagine if everybody, buddy, if you went out into the world and you went, no matter what happens, I can do it. No matter what's going on, I'm going to accomplish this.
That have to be your
Imagine that
like,
effect.
for real.
But imagine a global effect like that. I think that's why people don't like Andrew Tate. People don't like Jordan Peterson. People don't like David Goggins. It's because they're that kind of guy that's telling you to tell yourself, you can do it. Tell yourself I can do it.
Also, the problem is people don't want to face their own problems. It's like a lot of times when people would tell you something is wrong, and then it's like you hear something, right? And then like this is how the man work. You hear something, and then you think about it. You think about the past, right? You think about your past, and you think about what you did wrong. But then it's like a part of you that don't want to admit it that you did wrong, and it's like you don't want to face the solution because it's like you kind of embarrassed. And people reject people. Like it's like they reject the truth because they don't want to feel embarrassed, so they don't want to feel like
that's a lack of accountability.
They're the problem. I mean, yeah, that's the problem with the world. If you ask me,
even with that, a lot of these guys, buddy, the main message of I'd say most of these people through language is take responsibility, take accountability for your life, for what was and what will be.
Right.
Like people said, this is the perfect opportunity for you to become everything you possibly can be. And the only person that can make it happen is you.
Right.
But also the only person that can mess this up
is you.
And I think there's a certain fairness about that also.
Yeah,
because, like,
it's fair.
If somebody told me my life, I didn't even go like, this might be a little deep, but like going back to that situation in Israel that we was in, the reason I hated it so much is because it was completely out of my control.
And you didn't have no, like you didn't have no say so.
Yeah, I had no say so.
We was literally born into that. That's the part about it.
Exactly. And so when the opportunity came for me to take control of my life, and from that moment on, be the judge, jury, and executioner of everything that happens to me, I took it. Because it's not like, okay, if I'm a bum in Israel for circumstances I can't control, that's one thing. I'm not giving nobody a free pass. Being a bum is bad. I don't care who you are.
All right.
But when it's circumstances way out of your control, I can give you some slack.
All right.
A little bit. But when it comes to now, all the decisions are up to you. What are you gonna do about it?
Right.
And I think that's where I live. That's how I live my life. Where it's like, now that I have all these opportunities, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna get stuff done. I'm gonna make sure that everybody that's around me, my people, are taken care of. That's what I'm gonna do. It's my responsibility because like now I have that accountability on me. I think the power of language is telling yourself, okay, this is the world. This is what it is. I'm not out here trying to change the world. I'm trying to change my environment. I'm trying to do the best that I can. If I end up changing the world, so be it.
You know, I just looked up a quote about language. So they have this Chinese proverb: to learn the language is to have one more window from which to look at the world. And I feel like that's so powerful because language comes with culture.
Facts.
You know, so learning a different culture, language, it's like you you get in a different point of view of things. You looking at things totally different. Your mind, your thoughts operate so different. It's like you're on a whole nother mindset. But you know what's funny? What I just thought about, like when I hear language and like what makes language so unique is that like every language nowadays have a connotation to it. Like Spanish, everybody says Spanish is a sexy language. Everybody thinks that. And then you would have like English, I call it just a colonized language.
Yeah, the colonized language.
It's just like a mix of everything. But even Hebrew is like that. Hebrew is not like...
No, Hebrew is a holy language.
It's a holy language.
When you hear Hebrew, the first thing you think about is the Bible, holiness, spirituality.
I mean, yeah, but when you go to Israel and you hear people speaking Hebrew... First of all, it's mixed with Arabic, Amharic, French, maybe. Like, it's a bunch of different languages just mashed together now. But the ancient Hebrew, it's kind of different. It's kind of different from how it is today. But my whole thing is, like, through all of the text and a communication of these different languages, it's like you have a whole new view on life. Like, for real, like... I really would love to learn different languages, and I am learning different languages right now because I feel like languages tells a history. It tells a story, and I love stories. So that's very interesting to me. Even like down to the the South Africans, right? The ones that be making the sounds. The what do they call it? Maybe. So dumb. Anyways, that language I feel like that's really cool. Like you're so dumb. That's really cool how you like communicate through sounds, and that's like a type of language as well.
That's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
No, but I think my thing about language is powerful to an extent that most people don't know.
Yeah.
Like what you say not only goes into the universe, but goes into yourself. Like they have this, I think Jordan Peterson said it.
I love Jordan Peterson.
No, he's so smart. But what he said was, buddy, you can't tell someone a lie, right? You can't tell somebody a lie a lot of times without it having an effect on you. And if you telling a lie like it's the truth, that lie now becomes your truth.
Wow.
And so he was saying that what Hitler was saying like back a day, well, he was like, these Jews are this, these Jews are that. He might have not even believed it, Brady, in the beginning. But after a certain while, he started believing himself, because you can't spill out a lie like that many times and not have an effect on you. So I believe it's the same thing internally. Saying, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm good, I'm bad. Choose one and stick with it. But if you going, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person, when it comes down to it, that content of your soul, I think it darkens your soul in a way, because you kept feeding it negativity. It's like the ice, Birdie. You keep saying you're an idiot, I'm dumb, I'm this, I'm that. And something I learned was like, even through math, I still hate math to this day. I'm gonna keep saying it to this day because I don't want to be good at math. But Birdie, the reason I'm saying it is, once I got in like 11th, 12th grade, and I stopped saying how much I hate math, I became better at math. I kept going, I don't need to understand it, I just need to know how to do it. And that's what I was going for. So my brain was literally rewired, Brady, to I don't care about understanding it. I just want to see if it's 1 + 2. I don't care how the Pythagorean theorem, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what it's called. I don't care about the name of it. I need to know that it's 3. At the end of the day, I just want to know 1 + 2 is 3. How, when, where, blue, who.
They don't even teach you that, though. They don't even teach you that.
What I'm saying is the effects it had on my brain, it made me start rethink a lot of stuff. So I should stop saying I was bad at stuff. So now, if I say I'm gonna do something, oh, I'm awesome at it, Brady. You know how to do marketing? I'm the best marketing guy you know.
Ooh.
You know how to do web development? I'm the best web developer you know. I might not be, but guess what? I believe I am.
Period.
And
I am.
Here's my thing, Brady.
I am him.
The guy that believes he can do it will probably beat the guy who can already do it.
Right.
That's my theory. And it's like, if I'm crazy enough to have no experience in this thing, and still believe I can do it, you gonna probably be so thrown off by the fact that this guy doesn't know a daggone thing about it, Brady. I think it was Andrew Tate. He said something like, if we was in a piano playing competition, I don't know how to piano nothing, Brady. When you heard it was Andrew Tate, you like, why him? Brady, you know he can't play the piano. But you like, out of everybody, him. Why? Because he believes he could beat you, Brady.
Right.
I believe I can do anything. And that's something that Sakia taught me. He was like, dude, I can do anything, Brady.
Period.
And him saying that, it filled his body with the ability to like, if I need to jump this high, I probably can't jump this high. But I believe I can, Brady. And guess what? I did it. Craziest thing I see this guy do. This guy was doing all kind of stuff, Brady. He be beating people in all kind of sports he ain't never played. I'm like, what the heck? How?
Dude,
but that belief,
the mindset,
mindset of I can do anything,
that language for himself,
that language, that power of language, how it affect his whole world, how did it affect me, how did it affect Gamliel, Malak, Emmanuel, just by him believing in himself, allow us to start believing in ourselves in different aspects, and it's so powerful. That's why when I say something, Brady, I mean it. When I go, I am this, I'm that, I mean it. That's why I think I was telling a client of mine, she's real spiritual, I think you know her.
I know who you're talking about.
But I was telling for the last couple of months, I've been super happy because I've been allowing myself to just be who I want to be.
Exactly.
And not going, I'm out to the yo, I'm the bad brother, I'm the bad boy brother, I'm the guy that you don't want to be around, I'm the guy that you might need but you don't like. Because that's the kind of person I was portraying myself out to be for a long time. And I realized it's not who I was, and it was getting tiring trying to keep up this persona.
Not tired.
No, it was, Brady. Because you want to be good, but then you have to, you want to say yes, but then just to be a douche, you say no. But I'm saying it got to a point where I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
That's so much wasted energy.
Exactly. When I realized, I was like, imagine what would happen if I wanted to say yes, I just say yes. And I was like, imagine how happy I'd be if I allowed the best version of myself to just thrive. And I took my own advice when I said I'm the best friend of the best version of you. And I was like, who's the best version of me? What does that person look like? I want to meet that person. And so I went on a journey of I want to see who that person is. And through the power of words, through the power of language, I said, I'm the best version of myself. I'm going to try to be the best version of myself. And my brain rewired to be like, oh, bet this will be on now? Say less. Why it take you so long, my guy? But I think it's through that. It's through saying it out loud, Is you can think it all you want. You can think, stop, no, I don't want to do this. But it's until you say it out loud, it's when it becomes a reality. It's when you put it out to the universe, this is what I stand for, this is what I won't stand for, this is what I believe in, and this is what I don't believe in. No matter what. I think the most courageous thing someone can do is through the power of language, speak the truth, no matter the consequences.
Right. That's powerful.
It's easy to be vocal when nobody's listening.
Right.
It's easy to be, I believe in this when it's just you and your friends. But when it comes down to it, when it's the girl you like and she's talking about, I don't believe in, I think all men should go. That's when it's a cute girl, Brady. It's the one that
the
you
girl
think,
you always want.
Yeah. And she like, nah, I don't see the value in men. It's in that moment when it's valuable for you to say, nah, that's crazy. I don't believe in that. Because now you're with attention. Now there's consequences to the things you say. But it's easy to say when you just with your boys like, oh man, these girls are crazy, da da da. But when you're with your girl, now you Mr. Sympathy Simp.
Right.
Mr. Simp of the Year. It's crazy. Captain out here saving a hoe. And I think through the power of words and saying whatever you believe out loud, you can transform the world. If you want to change the world, first be courageous enough to say, I'm going to change the world.
Right.
It's the people who are crazy enough to say it, to believe it, and say it out loud that will actually do it. But saying, I'm going to say the world. What you gonna do? I'm gonna say the world.
Right, put some bass
in your voice. Bang.
No cat, yeah.
Diddy, put some bass in your voice.
Nah, but for real, but to me, honestly, I think because of how we grew up and how when we learned from a young age the power of your name. we was like 6, 7. And people used to ask us, what's the meaning of your name? And we could break it down. My name means my soul is a part of Yah. And like, different stuff like that. And I felt like it seemed like something so simple. But it's like when you get out to the world and people don't know what they name mean.
Bro.
And then they name be all cool and stuff. And I love name with meaning. Like I feel like I really do. Like when I have kids, first of all, I want to have 3 names.
Ain't no Bob.
It's gonna be a 3 name.
Not a Bob.
Because I like the 3 name thing.
I think I want to connect the past, present, and future.
I do. So Ima's father name, his last name is Niasuma. I would love, like, if I could change my name now, without, like, but it's too much. It's too much work now. But like later on, like I would have Nashamia Niasuma Briggs. That's how I would have it. To connect the family a little bit. But I mean, if it don't happen to me, then I'll do it to my child.
But there's always a connection to that.
Yeah, there's a connection. And that's powerful. And also like in doing so, what I want to do inside of our school is I want to do a day where we focus on our cultures in a way. So we will tell the kids to like ask their parents, what tribe are you from and what's the meaning of your name? Because here in Kenya, then everybody has a Kenyan name and then they have like another name, basically a colonizer.
That's what you might say. I want to hear your colonizers. I'm like, that's
but
racist,
like,
bro.
No, but they African names here are so pretty. Like I'd be like, why was I not born here? Why was I not given that?
It's really crazy when you see people, like when you meet people and you tell them, like today, I went up, I met somebody. She's like, what's your name? I was like, my name is kind of hard to pronounce. She was like, no, what is it? I'm good with names. So I was like, Walai, say us. So I was like, my name is Yatiliel. And what she said was, she was like, Yatiliel. I was like, wow. Yeah. Like she said it so nice, but it made me think, she was like, what's it mean? And I told her like, Bezrat Elohim ani shomer. And she was like, what does that mean? I was like, with the help of God, I save.
No, you trying to translate it.
No, but I like to say it in Hebrew first because it has power. It has a power in Hebrew. It has a punch. It has a force behind it. And I translate it to English for them to understand. But it's a Hebrew name. It's a Hebraic name.
I should do that too.
And like I stopped telling people my name was like, Anthony. I stopped giving like that. It was like an alias. And I feel like I was living under that, Anthony's this douchey kind of guy who don't care. And I stopped doing that. It's like even today when this Chinese, I was talking to the supplier. It's like, what's your name? I was like, and I was like, I erased and put Yatiliel. I was like, wow, that's a really big step.
Yeah, and
like usually I wouldn't even think twice about putting Anthony. Yeah. And it's crazy like the power because she was like, oh wow. So you Jewish or Hebrew? And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good conversation.
Not Jewish or Hebrew.
No, because a lot of people, when you hear when you say from Israel,
they love asking you, are you Jewish?
Are you Jewish?
But she said, are you Hebrew?
She said Jewish or Hebrew, and I
ain't never heard Hebrew. I just heard, are you Jewish?
I've had people ask me that before.
Or Christian.
I've had people ask me, like more educated people. I've had a lot of educated conversations with people. They understand that there's a difference between Hebrew and Jewish, and we get into it, and they always like blown away. Like even like the stuff that they thought they knew, and like our different Hebraic perspective on it. It changes people's perspective on how the world is. And I think through the language of Hebrew, like we was talking about, it changes how you see the world, buddy.
It does. It's a window.
I've been looking at these videos about the Nephilim and these different giants and Enoch and like all that stuff is so deep. And it was like these guys deliberately left that out in a translation, which was translated over 1,000 years later, Brady. The Tanakh, the Bible was already written, bro, with Enoch, with Methuselah, with the Nephilim, with all these different beings already embedded in the Tanakh. And the Greeks, they took it out because it was like, no, this is too powerful. Yeah. You telling me Mandem was out here walking 10 feet, 12 feet, 50 feet tall, doing up, the islands or whatever. And it was like, these were giants, Brady. These were people that live in thousands of years. These were people doing almost unfathomable things. Like, people's like living out lifetimes that people think like, oh, we live in our ninth of somebody's lifetime, Brady. And like, they decided to take that out. And they switched the language and they switched it from, from Hebrew to Jew. To Greek.
They said that, one of the languages that was translated to was Greek. I think it was Greek. Greek was definitely one of the first languages.
Greek is before English.
Yeah.
And it was really crazy to me how just that miscommunication of language is they have this Bible verse ready. The translation of it is the meek shall inherit the earth.
The what?
The meek, right? Someone that's meek, it's like somebody docile, somebody kind of, nice guy. Think of a nice guy. A nice guy is kind of meek. You say a nice guy is meek, right? But the real translation of it, and this is the Hebrew translation, is it basically translates to the person who has the sword but keeps it sheathed will inherit the earth. You see how that difference in language?
Oh, sheath is meek.
Sheath is hidden, is covered.
Oh.
Meek is, instead of having the sword on you, you put the sword down. What they saying is the guy who has the sword but keeps it, who's capable of using a sword but keeps it covered, will inherit the earth. So basically what it's saying is, Birdie, you should be somebody to go toe to toe with. You should be somebody scary, a monster. But you should be somebody who is able to be that monster and still be a good person. They say, I think it was Sneeko. No, it wasn't Sneeko. It was Iman something Ganzi. I can't pronounce his last name. I forgot it. But he says the 3 qualities of a real man is somebody who's willing to suffer crazy amounts of stress. The other thing was someone who's willing to go through it in life. You need to take stress, be super tough, and the third value was when it's necessary, become a very gentle man. Read your daughter bedtime stories, hold her hand. And he was like, the reason the third one is so hard is because the first 2 will make you, it will push you. If you go too far on the edge, it will push you to become a horrible person. And a lot of people, they've gone to that opposite edge. And he was like, it's that third value that's the most important, because if you just super hard you super hard, emotionless kind of man, what good are you? You're not good. You're not a good father. You're not a good husband. You're not a good brother. You're probably a good businessman. But even with that has limitations because you're not a good person.
Right.
And what he was saying was that necessity to be, still walk your daughter across the street to go to school, and you didn't see, brother, you didn't been in war. You didn't see tough situations, but you can still read her bedtime stories and tell her the world is all right.
Knowing that it's not.
You're my little princess. I'm gonna make the world. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna live the best life. That's being a good man. And I think it's a real powerful thing, because a lot of people, they go to that one direction of, I'm being emotionless, I'm be this, I'm be that. But it's like, you don't understand that being a man is being able to tap into that vulnerability, that, okay, so it's okay, It's okay. You reading bedtime stories, you doing fathers and sons, you doing those not so hard things. And I think that's really powerful, because it takes a lot to be that. And I think going even back to the language, it takes a lot to be courageous. It takes a lot to shape the world through your words, regardless of the consequences. Because the world will try to break you, man. Through words, the world will try to break you through canceling you, through whatever. And I think it's the power of words of going, I cannot be stopped. I cannot be canceled, because the truth is inevitable. The truth has the most powerful promise effect. The truth prevails regardless. And I think that's through the power of language. And that's the way you shape the world. And like they said in the Bible, the universe was made through words, through speech. And I think that's really powerful. What they say? You live a new life for every language you speak. If you know only one language, you only live once.
That's very powerful. That's a good closing statement.
But do your closing. I like your closing. Your closings are so
Wait, which one?
out of pocket.
Oh.
So, guys.
Anyway, people.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so, what's funny? I just saw something exactly what you was talking about. So they have this saying, when they say Ubuntu, it means the belief that we are defined by our compassion and kindness towards others. I like that. It's very powerful. Very good closing statement. But anyway, people, I hope that you enjoyed listening to our podcast. This podcast is very deep, a little spiritual, but it's something that we all need to hear and need to understand so we all can appreciate our language, because language comes with history, and that's something that we should all appreciate and hold close to our hearts because it makes us who we are. And please, if you don't know the meaning of your name, ask your parents, okay? Or look it up. All right, people? And just like that, you can find us on Spotify, right?
Yeah, Spotify.
Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Y'all just look us up, okay?
Just look up
Solutions Speak.
Yes, sir.
We out.
We out.
You can do your own thing, but you can't go hard. It's us, Israel, we go hard. Israel, we go hard.